Good evening and welcome to Cycle, a program for latest news and updates on economy and politics in Mongolia. I'm Anwar Kambatar. Experts say our country lacks a legal framework for regulating cryptocurrency trading. As a result, the Bank of Mongolia and the Financial Regulatory Commission have repeatedly issued warnings about crypto investing. The Bank of Mongolia issued a statement on cryptocurrency on March 12, 2021, noting that virtual assets such as cryptocurrencies and coins are not subject to the Bank of Mongolia's supervision and regulations, and the legal environment therefore is not clear. Dr. Soren, head of the Supervision and Regulation Department of the Financial Regulatory Commission, said that the Financial Regulatory Commission is not responsible for any issues related to the regulation of coins and virtual assets and do not have such functions and regulations. However, the Commission will continue to issue statements aimed at ensuring the stability of the financial sector, protecting the interests of citizens to some extent, and providing financial literacy. These statements include warnings from international banks such as those in the US, Britain and European Union, China and Russia, as well as information from central banks and finance committees, rather than endorsing or banning the issue. The Bank of Mongolia also issued a statement in March 2021 stating the need to regulate the registration of activities related to virtual assets in accordance with Financial Action Task Force Recommendation 15 on anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing. According to the law on the national payment system, digital currency is a monetary instrument approved by the Bank of Mongolia with an equivalent value of in Tugruk. The law on the national payment system is regulated by the Digital Currency Regulation issued by the Bank of Mongolia and the legal entity that fully meets the relevant requirements, which can issue digital currency upon obtaining permission from the central bank. Virtual assets such as cryptocurrencies and tokens do not have the characteristics of digital currency as defined in the law and are not subject to supervision and regulation by the Bank of Mongolia, so the legal environment remains unclear. Law enforcement agencies have become aware that cryptocurrency has become a money laundering tool. The highly secret nature of blockchain technology increases the risk by making it impossible to know for certain what the purpose for a trade is in and who you are trading with. It's important to remember that cases of cryptocurrency embezzlement and fraud have become very common. Beijing has stepped up efforts to source more coal from Mongolia amid an ongoing supply shortage, raising more questions about how long a ban on Australian coal can last. China is suffering from a spike in coal prices amid declining supplies, which has also prompted the authorities to ban an influential local trading platform from updating coal prices and market news that could fuel further speculation. Rising coal prices are another worry for China, which is already dealing with high raw material costs that are hurting businesses. In a virtual meeting with the Mongolian Deputy Prime Minister Amr Sakhan on Tuesday, Chinese Commerce Minister Wang Wentao introduced the topic of buying more mineral and agricultural products from Mongolia, a ministry statement said. Since the ban on Australian coal last October, which formed part of a broader trade spat between the two countries, data shows China has stepped up purchases of coal from other exporting countries, including Mongolia, to meet domestic demand that has spiked due to bouts on extreme weather. Mongolia has replaced Australia to become China's largest source of imported coking coal since the second half of last year. But transport between the two countries has frequently been disrupted by COVID-19 outbreaks in the landlocked East Asian nation. Local media reported on August 21st that the Gangchima-do border crossing in China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region had suspended coal imports from Mongolia for 2 weeks due to the pandemic prevention. The port carries about half of China's coking coal shipments from Mongolia. Soon after the border closure, prices of Chinese coking coal as well as coke and thermal coal futures surged to record daily highs, although the official position of the customs agency was the clearance of coal was normal. Amr Sakhan proposed an increase in the number of Chinese coal trucks entering the country to transport supplies across the border, a statement from the Mongolian government said. He also suggested more rail transport of coal to China. The two parties agreed to increase COVID-19 control measures and to accelerate the implementation of China's soft loan and grant projects. China's monthly imports of coal fell by 7% to 28.05 million tons in August, according to Chinese customs data released on Tuesday. Australia's exports of both thermal and coking coal make up a big percentage of China's coal imports and are required to supplement shortages in local production. China does not produce enough coal to meet its demand. Shortages in local production. China does not produce enough coal to meet its demand. The Asian Development Bank has launched a new country partnership strategy for Mongolia covering 2021 through 2024 to help the country recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic and lay resilient foundations for inclusive and sustainable growth. The Asian Development has launched a new country partnership strategy for Mongolia covering 2021 through 2024 to help the country recover from the COVID-19 pandemic and lay resilient foundations for inclusive and sustainable growth. The ADB's operations in Mongolia over the 4 years will focus on 3 strategic priorities, including social development and economic opportunity, climate-resilient infrastructure, and sustainable green and climate-conscious development. The ADB will build on the strong foundations of past engagement as a leading development partner while innovating to boost the climate change response, strengthen the business environment, and ensure that the COVID-19 recovery drives lasting reforms in areas such as health and social protection. Under the first strategic priority, the ADB will support Mongolia in helping those affected by the COVID-19 crisis to recover and fulfill their potential by giving them better access to finance, jobs, health, and skills. On the second strategic priority, the ADB will make significant investment in transport and connectivity to help increase competitiveness in Mongolia. This will reduce congestion in Ulaanbaatar as well as create sustainable development opportunities in rural areas. The ADB will drive innovation by embedding maintenance in these investments, adopting climate-resilient designs, leveraging co-financing to promote greener solutions, and enhancing opportunities for private infrastructure financing. The ADB will also strengthen resilience, including macroeconomic resilience, and ensure the sustainable use of resources and green development. It will work closely with the government to meet Mongolia's nationally determined contributions on climate change and secure a greener future for Mongolia, in particular through a gradual shift away from coal, adoption of better livestock practices, and the transition away from the intensive resources use that characterize much of Mongolia's development. The United States donation of 188,370 Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine doses has arrived in Mongolia. These donations through COVAX are a part of the effort since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. The United States has provided more than $4 million in support to Mongolia. The United States donation of 188,000 Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine doses has arrived in Mongolia last week. These donations through COVAX are a part of the effort. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, the United States has provided more than $4 million in support to Mongolia, including USAID's delivery of 50 high-quality ventilators in December 2020 and follow-on training needed to treat critically ill patients. These ventilators provided valuable medical support as Mongolia navigated through its unfortunate surge in cases this year. USAID also supports risk communication campaigns, infection prevention and control efforts in health facility and school settings, and vaccine distribution assistance. In addition, the United States has provided critical medical equipment for more than 570 medical facilities and helped train nearly 12,700 healthcare workers to conduct outbreak surveillance, use and manage U.S. government-donated medical equipment, and deliver quality care for COVID-19 patients. The United States, as Mongolia's third neighbor, will continue to support the health and well-being of the Mongolian people. An agricultural sector development with more value-added processing is a key to supporting rural economies and creating jobs in Mongolia's provinces. The Asian Development Bank and stakeholders discussed an event last week. An agricultural sector development with more value-added processing is a key to supporting rural economies and creating jobs in Mongolia's provinces, the Asian Development Bank and stakeholders discussed at an event last week. Provincial-level regional consultations under the 30th anniversary commemoration of ADB Mongolia Partnership continue in the country's central region, including 2 Arkhanga, Urkhanga, and Baykhongor provinces. Regional outreach events provide an opportunity to assess project impact as well as help guide ADB's future operations in the country, said ADB Country Director of Mongolia, Pavit Ramachandran. Our immediate objective is to help Mongolia recover from the COVID-19 crisis, and having in-depth consultations with provincial governors as well as the central government is important to achieve this objective. The event started with virtual site visits to social, agricultural and urban sector projects, which demonstrated their economic and social benefits for the residents of the provinces. Following the project visits, high-level representatives of project executing agencies, including the state secretaries of the Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry and the Ministry of Health, commended ADB's long-standing cooperation, stressing the urgency of supporting livelihoods to ensure a smooth recovery. The second part of the event focused on the region's sustainable development and the need for the ADB support. Representatives of the central and local governments discussed development priorities, including much-needed support to small and medium enterprises for sustainable agricultural production in the region and ADB's role in advancing rural development. The central region of Mongolia enjoys climatic and geographical features favorable for agriculture and close proximity to Ulaanbaatar, the country's capital and economic center. Increasing herd sizes and active development of mining projects in many parts of the region in the past 2 decades have highlighted the significance of environmentally sustainable growth. The president of Mongolia, Khursukhna, noted that the agreement could play an important role in eliminating trade barriers in foreign trade, as well as ensuring the republic's participation in regional economic and integration processes with the Eurasian Economic Union at the Eastern Economic Forum. President of Mongolia, Khursukhna, noted that the agreement could play an important role in eliminating trade barriers in foreign trade, as well as ensuring the republic's participation in regional economic and integration processes with the Eurasian Economic Union at the Eastern Economic Forum. Mongolia is considering the possibility of concluding a free trade agreement with the Eurasian Economic Union, the country's president Khursukhna said on Friday. He was speaking via a video link at the plenary session of the Eastern Economic Forum. Mongolia has always paid attention to expanding cooperation with the Eurasian Economic Union. At the moment, we are studying the possibility of concluding a free trade agreement with the Eurasian Economic Union, he said. The Mongolian leader added that the agreement can play an important role in eliminating trade barriers in foreign trade, as well as ensuring the republic's participation in regional economic and integration processes. The Eurasian Economic Union is an international economic integration association which comprises Russia, Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. Moldova, Cuba and Uzbekistan have observer status in the association. South Korea and Mongolia upgraded the two countries' relations to a strategic partnership during a virtual summit held between the two countries' leaders on Friday. President Moon Jae-in held an hour-long video conference summit with Mongolian President Khursukhna on Friday afternoon to discuss cooperation on issues including COVID-19 response, healthcare, economy, environment and the Korean Peninsula situation. Korea and Mongolia upgraded the two countries' relations to a strategic partnership during a virtual summit held between the two countries' leaders on Friday. President Moon Jae-in held an hour-long video conference summit with Mongolian President Khursukhna Friday afternoon to discuss cooperation on issues including COVID-19 response, healthcare, economy, environment and the Korean Peninsula situation, said the Blue House. The two sides adopted a joint declaration for a strategic partnership to elevate bilateral relations in a future-oriented manner to enable the Asian countries to further contribute to regional peace, stability and prosperity. They will also deepen and expand cooperation in a number of areas: politics and security, economy, trade and investment, education, science and technology, environment and health, culture, tourism and people-to-people exchanges, as well as regional and international matters. The two countries established bilateral ties in 1990. They became a friendly, cooperative partnership in 2006 and a comprehensive partnership in 2011. The virtual meeting marks the first summit between the two countries since Khursukhna was inaugurated as president in late June. It is the second meeting between the two leaders since Khursukhna, the Prime Minister, visits Seoul in January 2018. President Moon Jae-in said that Mongolia is a key partner to Korea in the new Northern Policy, his administration's initiative to establish stronger economic cooperation with the Russian Far East, Northern Asia and Eurasia, which also has synergy with the Mongolian government's Vision 2050 long-term national development policy adopted last year. Korea is Mongolia's fifth largest trading partner. President Moon Jae-in highlighted the potential for more substantive partnership in fields such as eco-friendly investment and distribution of minerals to achieve joint prosperity through new cooperation. The president conveyed that Korea, a high-tech powerhouse, and Mongolia, one of top 10 resource-rich countries in the world, have great potential for substantive cooperation utilizing complementary economic relations, according to the Blue House. President Moon Jae-in called for ways to expand mutual cooperation in green energy and other eco-friendly industries. President Hur-suk agreed that and said that mutual synergy can result from combining Korea's cutting-edge technology with Mongolia's eco-friendly infrastructure and resource development. Mongolia, a country that has diplomatic relations with North Korea dating back to 1948, has been a steadfast supporter on Korean Peninsula affairs. It has also proactively supported the Moon administration's Northeast Asia Cooperation Initiative for infectious disease control and public health as a response to the pandemic. The two sides also agreed to respond to air pollution on a regional level. The two leaders agreed to work closely together on the regional and international arena so that two countries could contribute not only to regional prosperity and stability but to global peace as strategic partners. South Korea and Mongolia celebrated the 30th anniversary of relations in 2020, designated as the Year of Korea-Mongolia Friendship, and continued various exchanges despite the pandemic. President Moon Jae-in and President Hur-suk also shared the view that the human bond between the two countries through history and culture has served as an important foundation for the development of bilateral relations. They agreed to further expand cultural and human exchanges to enhance mutual understanding, especially among the youth. More than 200,000 people traveled between the two countries annually before the pandemic. That's all for today's program. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Have a nice evening and goodbye.